Have you ever noticed how life starts to change when the rushing stops? After years of deadlines and alarms, something quieter begins to take root. It's not boredom, it's awareness. You start noticing small things again. The way sunlight shifts through the window, the bird that visits every morning, the rhythm of rain. In the next few minutes, I want to share why this quiet curiosity, this sense of wonder, is one of the healthiest gifts of later life. It doesn't just brighten your days, it steadies your mind and helps you reconnect with meaning. This is no hype health talk. I'm Dr. Chris Ho, a skin cancer physician from Brisbane, Australia, wishing you well as we explore together how to rediscover your sense of wonder after retirement. Your rat race is complete and no longer necessary. The alarms, the deadlines, the rushing, that season has passed. Now is time to smell the roses again, so to speak, to enjoy the wonders of small things, and to rediscover a quiet kind of energy that doesn't come from urgency. It comes from attention to detail. You don't need big projects to feel alive. Sometimes it's a few pot plants on the balcony, on the window sill, a fern by the window, a corner of herbs by the back door. You water, you trim, you watch. It looks simple from the outside, but inside, something moves, something shifts. You notice first new bud. You recognize the bird that visits every afternoon. You start to read the rhythm of rain and the way sunlight changes, shifts through the year. I have small pot plants on my windowsill, in the bathroom and toilet that I enjoy looking at many times a day. A whole world of nature represented in a few tiny pots of flora. Your world isn't shrinking. Instead, it is expanding. People call this childlike curiosity. I think it's wisdom disguised as wonder. When the noise of working years fades, the senses open. You begin to see what was always there and feels like coming home. If you're searching for meaning after retirement or in later life, start small, start personal. Ask gentle questions. What's growing in the park this month? Why does this bird always comes at this time of year? And why does it choose that fence to sit and sing over there? How does the light fall through this window different from the last year? These aren't trivia, they are doorways back to life, and curiosity doesn't belong to youth. It belongs to anyone who still cares enough to notice. As a doctor, I care about blood pressure, bones, and brains, but I also care about what lights people up. When someone tells me about their morning walk, their little garden, their sketchbook, or their daily rituals, I often see more health in that spark than any test can show. The opposite of curiosity isn't ignorance, it's withdrawal. So staying curious keeps you connected to nature, to people, and to purpose. Protect one small ritual every day. Tea at the window, 10 minutes with a plant, a page in the notebook. No phone, no rush. Let's be modest and joyful. You don't need to be good to take pleasure. Doodle, hum, take a photo, learn a new word, try a new recipe. Share one observation with someone you love. A grandchild, they're a curious bunch, aren't they? A neighbor, a friend, and the wonder will grow when it's given away. Go slow on the first 15 minutes outdoors. Step into the light, breathe, and notice things around you. Listen. Listen to the sounds of nature, of water dripping. And breathe. Notice the temperature. and let your body rejoin the day. If you have been told that aging means narrowing, I'd like to offer you a different picture. Your world doesn't get smaller, it changes dimensions. You become more present to the texture of things, the weight of your mug, the smell of tomatoes on the vine, the tilt of the afternoon light that comes down. This is not less, it's more, just more subtle. And if you're thinking, but I don't feel curious right now, that's okay. Curiosity returns when it's invited. Start with one sense. Touch, touch the leaf. Smell the mint. Listen to the smallest, quietest sound you can hear. Ask the smallest question you can form. And your radar wakes up again. So stay curious. Ask small questions. Look closely. Let the world surprise you. In later life, wonder is not a luxury, it's healthy. It steadies mood, softens stress, and gives your days a shape that's yours. To grow older while feeling wonder, that isn't decline, that's renewal, the quiet evolution of the soul. If you have a tiny practice that keeps you curious, a plant, a path, a notebook, a camera, share it below. Someone reading your comment might try it tomorrow, and find their own doorway back to life. If this kind of reflection speaks to you, calm, honest, and grounded in both science and everyday life, you're in the right place. Here on this channel, no hype health talk. We look at health in the broadest sense: body, mind, purpose, and the quiet rhythms that keep us well. You can also explore my other videos about sleep, aging, light, vitamins, and also more serious stuff like skin cancer, skin health, and other medical conditions, and small habits to explore that shape a better life, and each one built on the same promise: clarity, not hype. I'm Dr. Chris Ho from Brisbane, Australia. Take care, stay curious, and I'll talk to you soon.